Here we are with mid-chapter 7 exercises number 40, which says fill out the exponent monster on the next page. This is what the exponent monster looks like with this table to help us. How long did it take to complete? Well, let's start the timer and go to town on it. 6 to the negative third power. So this is 1 over 6 to the third, which is 216. 169 to the 0, anything to the 0 is 1 power. 3 to the negative 4, that's 1 over 3 to the fourth, which is fourth power, is 81. 32 to the 3/5 power, so this is the fifth root of 32, which is 2, to the third power, which is 8. 4 to the negative 3 power, that's 1 over 4 to the third power, which is 64. 2 to the negative 7 is 1 over 2 to the seventh power, which is right down here at 128. 256 to the 1/4 power. So this is the fourth root of 256. So we find 256 right here. The fourth root would be 4. 5 to the negative 3 power. 5 to the third is 125. Negative puts it on the bottom, 1 over 125. 256 to the 7/8 power. So we have to go the eighth root of 256 is 2. So we take 2 to the seventh power is 128. 256 to the 3/4 power. Fourth root of 625 is 5. Cubed is, right over here, 125. 256 to the 1/2, that means square root of 256 is 16. So that's the first column. Second column, 2 to the negative 4, that's 1 over 2 to the fourth power, which is 16. 243 to the 2/5 power. So we've got to take the fifth root of 243 is 3, and then we have to square that, which is 9. 729 to the 2/3 power, cube root of 729 is 9, squared is 81. 49 to the 1/2 power is 49. Square root is 7. 27 to the 0 is 1. Anything to the 0 is 1. 21 to the negative, that's 1 over 1/2. Square root of 121 is 11. 64 to the negative 1/6, that's 1 over the sixth root of 64. So let's go down here to the sixth, and sixth root of 64 is a 2. 243 to the 4/5 power. Fifth root of 243 is 3. To the fourth power is 81. 64 to the 1/3 power. Let's go to the cubes. 64 to the 1/3 power is 4. 125 to the negative, that's a fraction. 1/3, that's the cube root of 125 is 5. 125 to the 0 is 1. The next column, 8 to the negative, that's 1 over. Cube root of 8 is 2. Squared is 4. 27, cube root is 3. Squared is 9. 2 to the negative 2 power is 1 over 2 to the 2 power, which is 4. 125, cube root is 5 to the second power, or squared, is 25. 32 to the 1/5 power, we find the fifth root of 32, and it is 2. 216 to the 1/3 power, that's the cube root of 216, which is 6. 625 to the negative, it's 1 over 1/4 power, so fourth root of 625 is 5. 343 to the negative 1/3, that's 1 over 343. Cube root is 7. 5 to the negative 2 power, that's 1 over 5 squared, which is 25. 169 to the 1/2 power, that's the square root of 169, which is 13. 512 to the negative 2/3 power, so the cube root of 1 over cube root of 512 is 8, and squared is 64. Yes, right there. So 1 over 64. Now the next column, 6 to the negative 2 power, that's 1 over 6 squared, which is 36. 625 to the 0 power is 1. 16 to the negative, that's 1 over. Fourth root is 2. Cubed is 8. So 1/8. 343 to the 2/3 power, that is cube root of 343, which is 7, squared is 49. 332 to the negative 2/5 power, that's 1 over 5th root of 32 is 2, and then to the 2nd power, or squared, is 4. 128 to the 0 power is 1. 256 to the 5/8, so that's 8th root of 256, which is 2, to the 5th power is 32. 9 to the negative 1/2. So this is the 1 over the square root of 9, which is 3. 81 to the 3/4 power, so the 4th root of 81 is 3, to the 3rd power is 27. 2 to the negative 3 power, that's 1 over 2 to the 3 power, so that's 1 over 8. 64 to the 5/6 power, 6th root of 64 is 2, to the 5th power is right up here at 32. The second to last column, 16 to the 1/4 power, so 4th root of 16 is 2. 81 to the negative 1/4 power, so the 4th root of 81, it's 1 over the 4th root of 81 is 3. 216 to the negative 2/3 power, we've got to do 1 over cube root of 216 is 6, squared is 36. 3 to the negative, that's 1 over 3rd power, 3 to the 3rd power is 27. 8 to the 1/3 power, that's a cube root of 8 is 2. 243 to the negative 3/5 power, so 1 over 5th root of 243 is 3, cubed is 27. 128 to the 2/7 power, the 7th root of 128 is 2, squared is 4. 3 to the negative 2 power is 1 over 3 to the 2nd power, which is 9. 36 to the negative, it's 1 over 1/2 power, that's the square root of 36 is 6. 128 to the negative 3/7 is 1 over 128 to the 3/7. 7th root of 128 is 2. Cubed is 8. 2 to the 0 is 1. And the last column, 128 to the 5/7 power. 7th root of 128 is 2. To the 5th power is a 32. 729 to the negative 1/3 is 1 over 729 to the 1/3. Cube root of 729 is 9. 256 to the negative 3/4 power is 1 over the 4th root of 256 is 4. Cubed is 64. 4 to the negative 2 power is 1 over 4 squared. It's 1 over 16. 32 to the negative 4/5 power is 1 over 5th root of 32 is 2. To the 4th power is 16. 512 to the 1/3 power, that's the cube root of 512 is just 8. 4 to the negative 4th is 1 over 4 to the 4th, which is 256. 625 to the negative 1/2 is 1 over the square root of 625, which is just 5. 25. Oops, we're not here. The 4th power, we're up here at the squared. 1/2 power of 625 is 25. There we go. 64 to the negative 2/3 power. Cube root of 64 is 4. Squared is 16, and it's 1 over 16. 27 to the negative 1/3 power, 1 over 27 to the 1/3, which is 3. And 243 to the negative 1/5 power is 1 over 243 to the 1/5, which is the 5th root of 243, which is indeed 3. Good, and it looks like it took us 9 minutes and 23 seconds. 9 minutes and 23 seconds.